Echoes of Kenya, turn it up, let it play. Stories from home every day.
Echoes of Kenya,
We laugh, we learn, we say this is how we live.
Hey guys, and welcome to another amazing episode of Echoes of Kenya. Our today's topic, voter registration, or how you guys would rather call it, Uko Kadi. Today with me I have Brian Ken. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
And Enoch Kirui.
Hello.
Yeah, so mkwaje by the way, Uko Kadi?
Uko Kadi.
Okay, nice. So my first question goes to Kirui. Do you think Gen Zs actually care about voting?
Thank you so much. I'm Kirui, like already mentioned. I'm a Kenyan citizen from Bomet County, a resident of Konoin, a constituency in Bomet. So our host here has asked me a very good question. He said, do you think Gen Zs are really interested with voting? For some time now, 2 weeks ago or a month ago, we've had Gen Zs calling for registration. They've been doing what we call civic education. Civic education is actually important to the country. I want to take you back. During the 2024 protests, all the Gen Zs came together to picket against the finance bill. Now, as we approach 2027, it's another call that all of us should register as voters. This is a call to registration as a voters, since most of the youths have been seen, they are a bit ignorant to the registration or the register so that they can be viable voters. So as also we go into the registration period of becoming a voter, I want to ask the Gen Zs of Kenya that when you are chasing a lion, you make sure that you save some energy, because if the lions decide to turn back, you should have some spared energy somewhere. That's my take as we begin.
Do you think they care? That was my question. Do you
Yeah.
think they really care? Amani ile tu like
Gen Zs, I want to say first, Gen Zs are the most civilized people currently. The problems that Gen Zs have is unlike the problems our fathers, the millennials, had. So the Gen Zs are more literate on the constitution and everything.
So you think they really care?
Yeah, I think they care.
How about you?
Okay, thank you. I think the Gen Zs actually care about the voting process, right?
Yeah.
That's why they have built the initiative of Uko Kadi, which it has really helped the IEBC to educate people about getting a voter's card and going to register. You know, Uko Kadi is not just a theory now. It is not describing the daily life of Kenyans, how it is going, the life pressure. Fare has gone high, rent in Apanda. We see that there is inflation in the country. That is what Uko Kadi actually stands for. It's actually counting for the government to become accountable, for people actually to demand for better services, because the government that is currently in hand, it has done so minimal that can be able to sustain the current citizen. They are doing macroeconomic things that to the ordinary citizen is not yet enough to push him to where he's supposed to be, because as much as they are doing the macroeconomic development, but as long as the microeconomic part of it is still affecting the ordinary citizen, there's nothing that is happening. That's why Uko Kadi is an initiative that is pushing Kenyans to drive and to elect leaders that will be more accountable and will listen to the grievances of the ordinary citizen.
Okay. Back to you. There is still some Gen Zs who are a bit ignorant. They have not registered as voters because they don't want to, not because they don't have the chance, or these are places, they're everywhere right now, so why do you think some of them are still ignorant about the topic? They're not getting registered as voters. Why do you think that is happening?
You know, if you look at the past current patterns, we have had elections. You know, if you look, I can actually speak from their side. They have become more skeptical because you take a registration card, you go and vote for the leader of your choice. At the end of the day, you hear that the votes have been stolen. So you're like, at the end of the day, you will still get a voter registration card. You'll go and vote for the leader of your choice, but you'll still find that there are wrangles everywhere. Votes are being stolen. There's no free and fair voting process where we can elect a leader and again a free will, but you find that hizi wrangles inafanya mtu anakuwa skeptical. You don't want to go and get a card because unajua at the end of the day hadi nikichukua that guy will still enter.
So right? They fear disappointment.
They fear disappointment, yeah.
Kiri, what do you think?
I want to say I've had for some time now, I've had rumors. You know, the 20, let me take you back, allow me to take you back so that I can educate you slowly to bring you into a position where you will be able to understand. 2024, all of us in the country were against the finance bill, the 2024 finance bill. That one was a unifying factor. As much as we didn't really like the finance bill, it brought the chances together. So now, as we head to 2027, my big question is, what is that is going to unite us? Because currently, I would want to tell you for a fact that in Kenya we have 7 regions. And all those regions have a different understanding of the same issue. It's a pertinent issue for the Gensis, but it's an issue because currently there's nothing that will unite us. Because we see Gensis, some of them are one-term movement, then the others are two-term movement.
Yeah.
So we have a difference. So we don't know, we are still, politics can change anytime. It's dynamic. So we cannot speculate for now, but I want to say the chance is really tumesema tuko kadi. And so tuko kadi, and so what is it that will bring us together coming?
And why do you think kuna wenye hawajachukua kadi hadi sahi?
It's a fact that we should know that currently we still have 1 year and barely 4 months to the election period. And the IPC, I spoke with some officials of the IPC someday. They told me that the government usually rolls out what we call a mass voter registration. Do you know that? Yeah, it rolls out a mass voter registration which will happen actually at the end of this year, December or January. It's a promise that will happen. So when there is a mass voter registration, that will when we will be able to register. Some of us have been asking ourselves, where do we register, and all those questions. But the IPC will roll out a mass voter registration.
Okay. So another question. Most of us tunachukua kadi juu ya peer pressure. That is very true. Because some people have no idea of, like, they don't even care. Any ile tu umekaa one day, your friends are like, twende tuchukue kadi. So like you go, but you have not. So ukienda online, most of the things you see, the influencers and stuff, they talk about 1 term, others 2 term and whatever. So do you think most of the Gen Zs that wamechukua kadi wamekuwa influenced by those people online, the influencers, and wanawa influence negatively or positively from your critique?
I know that you touch on that point. You know, online is a world on its own. It's a virtual world. Many people are laughing online, but in real sense they are suffering deeply. They're really suffering. At the end of the day, utasema 1 term, 2 term, but at the end of the day, there's one of you who must be suffering. And you have said about peer pressure. Peer pressure must be there because that pressure will help you get the card. You know, the Uko Kadi, that slogan itself, it's a peer move. It's a slogan that has been created so that it can motivate people to go and get it. And that, ukiona umesema watu wanapata hiyo peer pressure, I think it's something good. Yeah, it is good to get the peer pressure, but you know, at the end of the day, election is still far. 2027, bado iko mbali. So they still have this year to learn why they have taken the card.
wachukue alafu they'll get to know about.
They'll get to know about it important slowly because it's a process, step by step.
Kiri, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to agree and disagree with some things that my good friend has said. First, I would want to agree that what is online is virtual, or rather virtual, but what things on ground are different. So there's a difference between the ground and what's happening online. Sometimes you might feel that online someone has really won the election, but it will be a sad reality, or it will be shock unto most of the Kenyans when they will learn that online is not actually the speculative or the real truth of what is happening in the society.
Okay. So do you guys think that political leaders actually listen to Gen Z? I mean, the whole Uko Kadi thing is because they feel like they're not being listened to, like how skizy. So do you think the politicians really do care about the Gen Z? Because we are the existing dominant over this mini. So do you think the politicians really care about us Gen Zs and what we say and what we like to like, everything and stuff?
Okay, from my honest point of view, depending on what I've been sitting and analyzing, is that the politicians aren't really keeping it into consideration because they're not really holding the emotional legitimacy of the citizens. And once you have lost the emotional legitimacy of the citizens, you're going to lose the political legitimacy. In what sense? People will lose trust in you because as much as you are unapandisha the public expectation of the government, you are lowering the public trust because most of the things you are not going to bring it up as you speculated it. And politicians actually, they're actually not giving any consideration to the Uko Kadi. And if you see those who are giving consideration to the Uko Kadi, they're trying to make it to kuwanufaisha. Yeah, they're trying to politicize it because recently I've seen some politicians also running the same slogan, Uko Kadi. And you saw Eric Omondi came on the social media and said that the Uko Kadi was made for the Gen Z, not for the politicians to start politicizing it. So you find that even if the politicians are trying to consider it, they're trying to make it in a way that it will be able to be of benefit to them.
Yeah, I would want to say the Uko Kadi is a leaderless movement.
What do you mean by that?
When I say it's a leaderless movement, it's the Gen Z's movement. It's a movement for all of us in the young generation. So it has no leader. But then my good friend here has mentioned that some politicians, including the former impeached deputy president, is trying to run into the slogan of the Uko Kadi. But then we are not going to politicize it. But as the youth, I think going forward we will have to be straight on facts and say if we want change as a country. Because the problems that we have as the Gen Zs currently, we are facing unemployment, and the constitution is clear. Chapter 1 of the constitution, it states that the sovereign power belongs to the people. So when we are told that sovereign power belongs to us, so 2027, I want to promise Kenyans that 2027 will be a different case. If the chances are going to remain united, it is going to be a different wave. I want to say the following. In Germany, the population of Germany, most of the people living in Germany are of old age. When we come to India, most of the people are young. And also the same case here in Kenya, most of the people are young. So we have millions of votes as the young generation. But then, at times, we might be influenced. Reasons for being influenced, number one, is financial issues. As the young Gen Zs, we have a movement, yes, it's running. But then, where do we get money to finance our movement so that we can run? And win even in the future coming elections. So that is the problem, and it's a problem that has affected the Gen Zs in the money. At times, political leaders use these movements, or they are running these movements through lowering Gen Zs into giving them some token so that they support them in the coming election. But then I want to ask Gen Zs today, those who are watching us, the Gen Zs, I want to ask you that let us stand together, let's be together so that we can be able to achieve what we want as a country. We say no against bad leadership. We have faced bad leadership. That is why we have a problem of job opportunities. We have scarcity of them due to the older age, the elders who have been running politics of Kenya.
Those like lacking job opportunities is what makes young people and even the millennials like mnalipwa ndo mwende campaign, like you want that money so bad.
Yeah, it's true to the fact that the young generation are being paid to campaign against or to campaign in favor of the government or against the government. But then the big question is, after the Uko Kadi initiative, after the elections of 2027, we have a life to live. So we, as the Gen Zs, I will advise that we see people with ideas and policies that can shape our country. But anyway, it's common that every leader comes with an idea, but the implementation of the idea, even Ruto, let me tell you, Ruto has good ideas. He has good ideas. You will agree to that. I know you will agree that he has good ideas, but the implementation is the problem. Senator Onyonga has been saying this, and I tend to agree with the man that Ruto has good plans for us, but then the implementation, there are many cartels running the same offices, so there is a lot of output more than the inlet, the projects that we are running as a country.
Okay. So what are the biggest challenges Gen Z are facing right now to register as voters? Like, can we like expand on that? Like challenges, what challenges are they facing as they are trying to register as voters?
Okay, it is inevitable that it's in the public domain that we have seen so many people, so many Gen Zs have flocked to IEBC offices to register as voters, but we find there's lack of resources. Like which one? Manpower. There's no manpower. People who are doing the process of voter registration are able to accumulate the number of people who are storming and sit there. But again, we have seen the same Gen Zs have stepped up to help provide the manpower so as to ease in the process of getting the registration card. That shows that this is something that is self-driven from within, that the Gen Zs are passionate about this thing and they know what they want in the coming days.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a fact that the last week or so we saw some Gen Zs joining the IPC. They say they didn't want to be paid, then they wanted to help in the registration. It's a fact that IPC has delayed. It has not rolled out the mass voter registration. That is why we have the problem of where to register and how to register. I think currently people register at a constituency level, but I know because it is the politicians who need us more than we need them. So they are going to roll out that before the mass voter registration. But then, what is important as we are heading to an electioneering period is a civic education to our voters. How do we vote? And maybe the IPC also, we've seen the united opposition, even though I don't agree that they are united, they look disorganized. But we've seen them, they are a bit not in good terms with the IPC currently. They don't agree with the IPC.
Why do you say so?
They don't agree with the IPC since they have been saying that we want to try the IPC like the better not.
But can you blame them? The IPC has become so untrustworthy.
The IPC that is running Kenya, the 2027 election is new. That is why we are putting them on test. We want to try and see whether they can really perform the task. Even though they are promising, but in the by-elections, of course, there is being defeated and there is a win. And always those who are defeated, they will try to blame and say that the election has been rigged. But we give time to the IPC. But then today we want to say that chances, kama chances, ikifika hiyo time that the election period, what we will have agreed as a young generation of Kenya, that is what we are going for. There is no retreat, there is no surrender. We are coming.
Ken, what do you think about the IBC thing and being untrustworthy?
The ABC thing and being untrustworthy. Okay, to be honest, I can't really talk about that since I don't have enough information about it. I've not heard anything about the IBC being untrustworthy so far. As Enoch has said, it's the whole board of IBC, from the chairman to the commissioners, are new people. We have not yet seen their work. They have not yet delivered. So we're giving them time. We're giving them a period of time to see what they are going to deliver. So as per now, I cannot comment about it.
Okay.
Can I add on something? I want to, in the 2022 election, I'm taking you back, I'm sorry for using history, but in 2022 election, we have 7 commissioners of the IPCC. We had chair, vice chair, and the rest. There were 7, but 3 of them agreed to the presidential results, and 4 disagreed. As it is stipulated in the constitution, if 4 agree, they take the day. But then what happened in Kenya?
But why are they disagreeing in the first place?
They disagree because of, I think there's some token that was given to the IPC. Also, we don't have information as to
Mind your
that.
tongue, Kiri. Mind your
Yeah,
tongue.
we don't have information as to that, but we know something could have happened so that they disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our IPC must be aware that today, going into the 2027 elections, many Kenyans are literate. They know what is happening. We are informed, so we know. If there are some who disagree and agree, we are not going to accept any results, because we cannot accept to be drawn into politics of ethnicity and all those that will run the country down.
Okay. Do you guys think that Gen Zs are politically lazy? Let's start with you, Ken.
Do we think if the Gen Zs are politically lazy?
Yes.
Politically lazy in what terms?
Like they're not like chipping in enough into politics and even learning about. Kuna mtu sahi ajui Kenya kunaendelea nini by the way in terms of politics?
Okay, according to what I see, I cannot frame it as politically lazy, because from the numbers I see attending the rallies being organized by various people, most of them are the young people, and I can say they're politically active. So there might be a fraction of them who are politically lazy, but there are people who are following on the political landscape, and particularly like in politically, they attend the rallies, they take note of everything going on. In fact, today I was actually going through some news by bloggers. Last year in Narok County, the President William Ruto had gone there, and he had said that there will be the Narok International Airport, and it will be ready by March 2026. And in bold it was written that another big fat lie, because it's already much in sharp it and you can't use it. Nothing has gone on in Narok County, and that is something that we are calling for government accountability, because you promised last year that by March 2026 there will be an international airport, and yet nothing has been seen. I think there's just a mere airstrip there, the Narok airstrip. Nothing is being seen. You know, actually the Gen Zs, they are tired of this kind of lies, and that's why I was saying that when you try to buy public dependency, ukinunua our trust, you are continuing killing the trust. At the end of the day time, the promises won't come to pass. And that's why last time I told Enoch in the past 2 podcasts we had that there's policy paralysis. Policy paralysis in what terms? The policies that are being implemented, they are not as fortunately to the latter ndio zikuwe zimefanikishwa. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So you find that there's policy failure. None of the policies are going through.
Okay.
We're still stagnant where we were. Nothing is changing for the ordinary citizen.
Yeah. Politically lazy is a term that has been used. I think the chances more informed, so I cannot term them as politically lazy. 80% could be politically active, and then we also have 20%, like my friend has said, some fraction could be politically lazy. But there are those who are sharp politically. We are saying sharp people, they are sharp politically. But I would want to say that in the previous elections, we've seen the Gen Zs being politically lazy. The mass voter registration came as a result of what the government did, and it was on the public domain that it was wrong. For that, I think the finance bill is actually what brought the Gen Zs together. That is why now we want to speak in one voice and say yes to the government or say no to the government. But I know most of us will say no to the government. But also, as we go to that period, it is advised that we be careful so that we are not associated with what we are not in for, the Gen Zs.
Okay. What advice would you give to a Gen Z out there or any Kenyan who has not registered as a voter yet? How do you advise? Unawaambia nini coming from you?
Okay, to the people who have not yet registered as voters, you know, Kenya is a democratic country. Democracy, what is democracy? Rule for the people, by the people, for the people. Meaning that you as the person inform the government. Because at the end of the day, you will not cry when the wrong government is elected because you never took part in electing it. Because that one vote is going to make a difference, to make a change, to impact the country both economically, infrastructurally, in terms of development of health infrastructure, to everything, so that we can be able to upscale the country forward. Though it's a third world country, we can make more improvements on it, and in short, just get a registration card. Yeah.
And make sure to vote. Usichukue tu kana kwa nyumba by the way. Kiri?
Yeah, I would like to encourage that the Gen Zs to register as voters. It's a very, election is a process, so we cannot use our mouths and then expect results from using our mouths. Let me take you back to Murwa Digir and the nominations for the UDA that were done last week on Friday. Online you could find there was two. Another one was called the dollar line and the blue. But blue was everywhere. We saw winning as something inevitable. So I would want to also say, and he didn't win, for your information, he didn't win. So sometimes things happening online should not influence the Gen Zs negatively. They should be people who are straight to minds and know what is to happen. So I will encourage them to register as voters, and then we will agree on how to approach the election for a good winning in the future.
So yeah, kama uko nje and you've not registered as a voter yet, this is your sign to do so. Yeah, and a big thank you to you guys. They've really educated us. Kama hujasoma hapo, you weren't listening carefully. So yeah, this has been Echoes of Kenya. I am your host, Said Manavua. Goodbye.
Piano calling from the valley, morning light on dusty roads, voices rising from the highlands, stories carried as they grow. This is Echoes of Kenya. Hear the heartbeat in the sound. Eli Malaso, Koki, Brian, okay, Winnie Mwara holding ground. Said Manambua, Patrick Asati, were your guides through every town. This is Echoes of Kenya. Every story circling round.